You're on. Your mic's on.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to have you here. Always glad to be here. And man, oh man, we have bunches of elephants in the room to talk about today. So I'm going off of my normally scheduled stuff today, and I need the mouse for a second, Joey. We're gonna go off of exactly what's going on in the market. You got it back. We're gonna go off of exactly what's going on in the market. I think that we need to spend the majority of our time there. All right. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, and let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. And if you're good with that, as you type in VV Nation, type a 1 as well to let me know that you're okay with that. I think that today should really focus on what's going on in the market. More so than anything, more so than any stocks that I can give you, more so than what industries are rocking and rolling, any of that stuff. I think that today is super important about understanding what's happening in the market, how it's going to affect your portfolios, and where you need to have your money. So I've got a lot to cover today, a lot to cover. Joey, show me how many people in the room. Today is an important day. If you haven't ever shared the link to the live, today is the day to do it. All right, today is the day to do it because there's a lot of people out there who are confused about what went on, wondering why what happened, and they are wondering what they need to do. So today, if any other day, today is the day that we need to try to get 300 or more people here. Today is that day. All right, and get those people here. Let's get them educated, and let's get them settled down because a lot of people are probably panicking. Joey put the link for this live stream in the chat. Use it. Gold yet? Yes. So Mr. Mex Biker, we're going to look at gold stocks today, but I will tell you that gold is responding to what's going on in the market. I don't know if it's ready for us to go really invest in it. So I look at it. Good afternoon, Ravi. Mr. Mex Biker, I say today is a good day to be in gold, but do I want to be in it long term? I'm not sure just quite yet. So Joey put the first poll up there. Has the economic atmosphere kept you out of the market? Answer the poll. I think it's important. Has it really kept you out of the market? Has it spooked you out of the market? Alberto says making a killing. Listen, what have we been talking about for the past few months is that the market has more downside pressure than anything. That's to exclude the banks. Just in general, with what's going on in the market, we've got more downside than anything. So I'm just looking at that. And if you're playing the market to the downside, you're probably good. Today, the market's rebounding. Well, the market's gone down for a couple of big days. All right, for a couple of big days. So putting that information out there, keeping you on the right side of the market is so important. We got 242. Come on, folks. Let's get 300 people in the room. Contras is the way to go. I still feel that more. I'm a big fan of that. We're going to talk about more contras today. Buying the bounce. Ooh, be careful. How many of you feel comfortable buying the bounce? Type of 1 in the room. How many of you feel really comfortable buying the bounce? Type of 1. If you don't feel comfortable, type of 2. All right. How many of you feel really comfortable buying the bounce right now? Todd did knock it out the box, Badger. He did a great job. He did a great job. How many of you feel comfortable buying the bounce? Type of 1. If you don't, type of 2. I am not a fan of buying the bounce unless I'm buying just a couple of stocks. All right, there we go. A lot of 2s. No, something is not right, says Black Beauty Machine. There you go. Short-term options. There you go, Paul. If you're going to buy the bounce, it will be short-term. It will be short-term. I still think we got a lot more downside in the market. Fred says 2, extremely short-term. Hey, that would have made a great poll. Well, we got a couple of up there. Would you trade the bounce? Listen, you're answering it in here, so I'm okay with that. How much? We got 268. Come on, folks. Let's get to 300. All right. As we're getting closer to 300 with your help, let's talk about looking at the market. So let's go into the software. This is the market today. Look at that. The VIX, folks, the VIX today, pre-market, was as high as 29. There is a lot of fear in the market, which makes sense as the banking fiasco on the regional banks. I want to touch on that. It's on the regional banks, and I'm going to explain why that's important and why it's the regional banks that are feeling the effect of this. Contras for me with short-term plays on stocks not following the market. I got you, RJ. What else is here? Currently holding 1 covered call. The rest are all contras. Man, you guys, I think you guys are on the right side of the market. Come on, 269. Get us up to 300. Come on, y'all. Get us up to 300. All right. So with that being said, let's talk about the VIX being as high and what happened with the regional banks. All right. So here's the story. Don't forget, tonight, the 6 p.m. video is going to go in deeper detail. I've already recorded it. It's called The State of the Economy and Banks. Don't forget it. It's going to be at 6 p.m. this evening. It's going to go into a lot more detail about what's going on with the banks and the economy as a whole. 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel. 274. We're only 26 away, folks. Only 26 away. Woo! Fireblazer says, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Don't be. Don't be. As a subscriber to the VectorVest software, none of you should be scared. All right? And we're going to walk through why. So what happened with the regional banks? If you look at the rising interest rates, and part of how companies do business is they borrow money. They borrow money for research and development, for a lot of different things. All right. It's a practice of doing business. But what is happening is the big banks like the JP Morgans, the Chase, and all of those banks, after they got bailed out, are very stringent about what kind of money they lend out and to who. So currently, right now, the people who are able to get the loans are the people who don't need the loans. So where do they go to get the money from? They're regional banks, because they're going to be ready to take on a little bit more risk. All right. That's step number 1. Step number 2, how did they get into this situation? Well, when interest rates were low, what did they do? They bought bonds. They bought the country's debt. They were able to get that. They pay, they get it back at a lower interest rate. They get their money back. But as we've gone through what's going on with inflation, interest rates rose, and they rose quickly. So they had to make a decision at some point in time. What was the decision? Well, we got to get rid of these bonds at some point. And finally, when they did, they were on the wrong side of that, and they became a little bit illiquid. Does that make sense to everybody? There you go. Michael is right. SVB did a bad job of hedging the bonds. That's what it comes down to. All right, that is what it comes down to, and that's why SVB, they shut down a little bank in New York as well. Other regional banks are feeling the effect as well, and I think that there's more bad to come as far as regional banks going forward, because I think a lot of people went through the same template of buying the bonds, and that was a good way again of buying the debt, and they were a little bit more riskier in the people that they gave money to. And now, look at companies like Etsy. You look at a lot of companies that had their money in SVB, they got screwed. Well, to a certain degree. The Fed stepped in short of a bailout. The FDIC said, we're going to insure your money all the way up to $250,000. They created a fund. All right. So did they spend money in creating this fund to alleviate the bankers with SVB? The whole idea with SIVB, the whole idea was they wanted to make all of those people who were banking with them whole. So they created a fund. Now, in my mind, I'm asking myself, did they just spend more money to create this fund? Type a yes or no in the room if that's what they did. I'm not an economist, but I'm thinking that if they created a fund for people to draw from, they just spent more money. Yes or no? All right. They just spent more money. Yes or no? Fireblazer says, lend me some money. My bond is good. Good is my word, and my word is mightier than the sword. Why do you think Schwab is getting hit so bad? I think that the major banks are still feeling the effect of this as well. But I think the big banks that are created as too big to fail will be okay. The government's going to make sure, which means that they are going to have to spend money again in regards to a bailout. Lee says it smells like a bailout. It wasn't quite a bailout, Lee. All right, it may smell like it, but I wouldn't quite put it as a bailout. But as the more I think about it, it does smell like a bailout, doesn't it, Lee? I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right, but I think, Mark, the big banks will feel some of the effect as well. But I still think that this is more in tune to the smaller regional banks. Fireblazer says, lend me some money. I'm too big to fail. What is up with interactive brokers? Same thing, Michael. When it comes down to those interactive brokers, Schwab, other big banks may feel some of the effect. This is overarching. This is a domino effect of what is going on in the market right now, especially with the banks. So I wanted to show you what the indices look like, but especially I wanted to show you that the VIX is high because there's a lot of fear in the market based upon what's going on with the banks. All right, so from there, let's go look at some of these banks. All right, from there, let's go look at some of these banks. The regional banks, Western Alliance, down a lot. First Republic, down a lot. SVB, notice that there's no price change. Why? I think they got dissolved. And then I've got an ETF that looks at the regional banks as a whole. KRE is taking a hit as well. But look at these moves to the downside on these banks. Glenn, you should show the chart of SIVB. VectorVest shows this bank had issues for a year. So you know something? Everybody knows on TV, somebody very influential on TV, I won't say anybody's name, said that SIVB was a good play. You've heard that, yes or no? All right, you've heard that, yes or no? All right, and this is where the difference between news and noise is discernible within the VectorVest system. All right, I'm going to right click. Let's go view the graph of the stock. All right, this is, no movement. Don't put no names up in here. I'm not saying no names. All right, let's go put this on a 1-year graph. All right, folks, this is a 1-year graph of SIVB. I just want that to sink in a little bit, because there's people that will tell you what they think you want to hear. Or there's people that will tell you what you think you want to hear because they are friends with somebody else. I'm just saying. All right. This is the company over the last year, folks. And you remember I talked to you about creating a hit list of stocks. Because you do that, the stocks are automatically ranked by VST. If you are not a subscriber to the VectorVest system, if this doesn't push you over the fence to at least take a look at the software, I don't know what else will. I don't know what else will. Joey, put the link up there. You want VectorVest to be able to give you this kind of insight no matter who's on TV talking. Go to www.vectorvest.com/YT. You want to be able to look at any stock that we track, 99 cents for 30 days. And no matter who's talking on TV, whether it's CNBC, whether it's MSNBC, whether it's Fox, no matter who it is, this is the power behind having the VectorVest system. For those of you who are not subscribers to the channel, if this doesn't make you at least become a subscriber to the channel, I don't know what else will. We give this kind of insight on every stock that we track. And globally, we track over 18,000 stocks. So let's talk about this a little bit. The stock towards the beginning of the 1 year period, just moving down. You know what else catches my attention? Look at earnings per share. Dips. This is all prior to what just went on with the stock. Oh, and okay, fine. Fireblazer says, but yeah, I see that it was a buy recommendation last week. All right, fine. You know something? Short term, I see a bounce off support. This is a technical move. Yes? Type a yes or a no if you agree that this was a technical move. Overall, though, Fireblazer, look at the stock. This is a technical move. Fine. I can take money on the stock technically. Bounces off support. 3-8 crosses. Boom. Bada boom. Bada bing. Look at the 3-8 fall down below the 3. Look at the 3 fall below the 8. Look at the 3 fall below the 8. Was that a good opportunity? Again, prior to all of this, was that a good opportunity? The stock was still a buy. Always remember, just because the stock is a buy doesn't always mean it's the right time to buy. What was going on in the market? Where was the market timing during this time? Were we bullish? Were we bearish? Those are the questions that you have to ask yourself. And if you were lucky enough to get in off the bounce, get in on the 3-8 cross, and get out on the 3-8 cross, you did well. Short term. But when I'm looking at a 1 year look back of the graph, do I like this stock long term, no matter who's on TV? One for yes, 2 for no. Long term, do I like the stock? And you know, looking at a 1 year graph, I can make that decision. Long term, I don't like that. Even on the bounce off support and the 3-8 crossing, that's a short term move. And you get in, you make your money, use the 3-8, you're out. You're out before the fiasco hits. That's not me being on TV telling you, go buy the stock because the earnings are this, that, and the other thing. And I know none of that. We take us out of the equation. But you guys put a lot of faith into the people who sit there and tell you, hey, go do. All right, does it work sometime? Yeah. Do you want that, or do you want somebody telling you to buy a stock because they think it's going to do that, or do you want to make the decision on your own? Someone asked me to put value on. Let me go add a parameter, value. Let's go see where they were. Well, the stock was undervalued. The stock was undervalued, but doing what? Going down. And finally, remember I just talked about that technical move? The technical move was enough to make it overvalued. Now, being overvalued doesn't make it a bad move. It means people are willing to pay a premium to own it. And usually when you're in an overvalued stock price normally falls to meet value. And bingo, it did that right then and there. It did it right then and there. So there was a lot of good things about it. It was put on relative value. There's a lot of, well, what's the relative value? It was above 1. But I'm watching the graph. The graph is just going down and down and down and down. I don't know who in their right mind could have said, oh, long term, it's a good buy. I'm watching earnings fall. There's nothing out there that tells me long term, this is a good buy. Relative timing below 1. There's nothing telling me long term, I should be in this stock. So I say all of this. So RT was above 1. It was, but it was off of that technical move, Fireblazer. So I'm going to say short-term technical move. Could you have made some money in it and gotten out before the calamity? Absolutely. Short-term. All right, let's do this. Let's go look at another one of these. Western Alliance, bigly down today. Let's go look at a 1-year graph on that. View the stock graph. We'll do the same analysis. Put this on a 1-year stock graph. That looks a whole lot like SIVB, yes or no? Little interesting difference, though. Earnings is higher than it was a year ago. Let me move that over. Earnings is higher than it was a year ago. So what does that tell me? Long term, still I don't like the stock, but what it does tell me is that this stock might be a little bit better run. This company may be a little bit better run. Has the economic atmosphere kept you out of the markets? No, 50%. Yes, 49%. Interesting. All right, so Rimor says definitely a downtrend, no brainer. And again, this is before the calamity happens. Same scenario as SIVB, except for it didn't go overvalued, but it fell hard. And that's news-based because of what's going on with banks right now. So let's step back a little bit more. Where did this all start? Where did this all really start? Can anybody give me the company that first put this, most recently, that first put us in this situation, at least we're bringing up the red flags? Type it in the room. What company out there most recently set these red flags up for these banks? Anybody? I got one company in mind. There you go. Way to go, Alberto. That was it right there. That was it right there. FTX. Silvergate came after FTX, Lee. It wasn't the government, Greg. I'm not going to go down that path. I'm not going to say it was the government. But it was FTX that started this all off. Silvergate was the bank that was managing a lot of the crypto money, the crypto investments. Came after FTX fall. Now, that was the start. But now, coming to the forefront now is what these banks did is they invested in the bonds. And with the bonds and the interest rates getting all jacked up, they felt the brunt, which is why I still think that more banks are in line to fall. Canary in the coal mine, there you go, could have been. That whole FTX stuff could have been the canary in the coal mine. Rising rates goes to the other side of that as well. What is the 3-8 cross? Fred, it is looking at 2 moving averages, a 3 and an 8 exponential moving average. That's what the 3-8 cross. Most of the banks are invested in crypto. You know, does everybody agree with that? That most banks, to include the bigs, are investing in crypto? Type of 1 if you agree with that. Type of 2 if you don't. Type of 1 if you agree with that. Type of 2 if you don't. That's an interesting, and I don't have the numbers. I don't have the numbers to back that up, Michael. I don't know if most of the banks, I really don't know if most of the banks are invested in crypto. And I don't know. I don't know. And again, it's a yes or no type of question. I'm not sure where I stand with that. I think that because crypto was a little bit more risky, that even if they did, I think it was a smaller portion of their portfolio. Albert says, Bitcoin doing very well today in Canada. Not sure about the USA. Albert, I'm not giving crypto a second look at this particular point in time. I think that this crypto winter lasts longer. For how long, I don't know. I think that FTX put put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths going forward. I think that the credibility of crypto got shot. John says, I thought a lot of pension funds are in crypto. Some. I've done some stories where some some pension funds were. I wonder how they're feeling right now. You know, I wonder how they feel about it. I wonder how they're going through this. Why is all of this affecting strongly the Russell 2000, Keith? Because with the fear in the market, people are getting out of the riskier stocks. The Russell 2000 are the riskier, lower cap stocks. People are jumping out of those quickly. Normally, when the VIX is high, people get out of those riskier stocks. That's why that is. Yes, the banks are investing in crypto. Michael, you think so? You think that the big banks are investing in crypto? Well, if that's the case, we got more to follow down the line. Russell has a large percentage of regional banks. That's another part of it. I didn't quite know that. I know the regional banks are lower cap stocks or lower cap banks. So, and if that's the case, and that's another reason why the Russell is going down. I was pointing to the biggest problem banks seem in crypto. I got you. And Michael, I got you. All right, so let's talk about some news. All right, let's go to the news. I got to find it. There we go. Here's some news. And First Republic Bank shares slump as analysts flag impact of SVB collapse. All right, again, it is going to be a domino effect. Now, here's a story. Fed under less pressure to speed rate hikes as wage gains cools. That was 3 days ago. Now, talking about wages, are people, the jobs are out there. As a matter of fact, last week, we found there was 311,000 more jobs. I still am wondering where all these jobs are coming from, but that's neither here nor there. I read an article that for every person, there's 1.9 jobs for every person looking. So each person can work 2 jobs, and each person can find 2 jobs. Request you please analyze LABD. I got you. I'm going to spend some time looking at your stocks today. All right. 1.9 job for every person. And, a few weeks ago, we found over 500,000 jobs. So the jobs are there. And if the jobs are there, that means the economy is still showing signs of strength. To say that the Fed is under less pressure to speed up rate hikes, I'm not sure that that's the case. Now, here's a story. Goldman scraps March rate hike call as traders unwind Fed bets. How many of you think that the Fed is not going to raise rates next month, in next week? Type of 1. How many of you think that the Fed is going to raise rates? Type of 2. And how many of you think that we're going to be 50 basis points or higher? Type of 3. All right. How about that? So some of y'all feel that the Fed is not going to raise rates. Really? Really? I can't see it. I can't see it. I totally can't see it. On paper, I can't see it. If the job markets are not cooling off the way that the Fed wants them to get them to they're adamant about 2%. If they're showing some signs of the economy still growing, I can't see him not raising rates. Now, Remora is right. It depends on the inflation report that comes out this week. All right, there's 2. I think there's 2 that comes out this week, and then the Fed rates puts out next week. The rate will top out at 5.5. I'm thinking the rate will top out. The terminal rate will go probably to 6 or 7. Powell and his associates are totally committed to 2% inflation. Big increase to continue. I'm right with you, Bats. I keep saying, on paper, and my job is not to scare none of you, but on paper, I can't see the Fed stopping. Why? He already got caught with his pants down saying that inflation was transitory. You think he's putting himself back in that same situation again? Rogers says that depends on whether they want to do their jobs or placate politicians. This ain't the time to placate nobody. If you're effectively trying to go after that 2%, you got to continue to raise rates. Mary says JP Morgan is one of the largest crypto teams, so they must be the ones buying the crypto and bring up the price. Thank you, Mary. I'm thinking a 1.5% increase this time. I'm thinking we need 3/4. I think we need to go back to 3/4. All right. I'm thinking that we need. Anybody agree with me that we need to do a 3/4? Just type a yes. And yes, and if there's no, you can type a no. But does anybody agree with me that you got to go at least another 3/4? Transitory inflation was yelling. Girdle, stop it, Badger. Stop it. Sorry. Now, keep in mind, even though I say that we need to do that, I know that it's going to hurt the economy more. I know that. I don't, and don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't know that. I do know that. But I still don't think that we're in half the hurt that we should be in to correct all of this. I don't. Now, that's my opinion. All right. A lot of the things that I always talk about in here is based off the VectorVest system. That's my opinion. How about this? Regulators see Signature Bank in the third largest. This makes the third largest U.S. bank failure. That's big. Do you think they're hyping it up? I don't know. Fernando says 25 basis points for sure. I think it is going to be at least that. And you're right, Ray. Ray says that's going to kill more bond investors because people bought the bonds at the lower interest rates. And now with the interest rates going up and up and up and up. Yeah. So, Ray, that's why I think that the other shoe in this whole bank fiasco hasn't fallen yet. We still got some stuff. The other side of the other shoe hasn't fallen yet, folks. Glenn likes to put the hurt on. Listen, I'm not trying to. No, most banks can't handle it with the long bonds they hold. So, Michael, I'm curious, what else do you do? If you don't raise the interest rates, people are working, wages are going higher, they're still not commensurate to inflation. The economy is still growing. What do you do, Michael? What more do you do? And again, I've said it more and more and more and more. The Fed is walking a tightrope. He knows what to do on one side and he knows how it's going to affect on the other side. What do you do? You know something? We need to have a VectorVest think tank. What more do we do? Should we exit all stocks? Chris, I'm not going to say you're going to exit all stocks. I'm going to say if nothing else right now, you manage your trades. Why do I say that is because I think as the market goes down, we're going to be in for bumps back to the upside. All right. The VIX is high, so we're going to be in for big swings throughout the day. I don't think that you panic. So the answer to your question is, should we exit all stocks, Chris? That sounds like panicking. That's why if you're not a subscriber to the channel, you need to be, because we keep you on the right side and we keep you even keeled. I don't ever want anybody who comes to this channel to be in a state of panic ever. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. We do like you, Glenn. What are you doing? What do you mean? Maybe they need other tools to safe play at the moment. Somebody give me what other tools they have. Are shipping stocks a buy today? Probably, Willie. The market is up today. My shipping stocks might be on the rise today. And the video that I put out was specifically on some of the best stocks to use based upon that whole space. All right. But on an update like today, many of those should be going up. I haven't taken a look. Randy says, let the free market work it out. We've got a lot of government intervention, which is affecting that. Randy, you're right. We've got a lot of government intervention, which is affecting that whole free market thing. I don't disagree with you. All right. Joey's got the mouse, doesn't he? Yes. I see what you've got going on. All right. I got you. Let me go to the next story. Western Alliance shares plummet 80% as the bank stocks take a beating after SVB. Again, domino effect. And these are all regionals. All right. I don't get why they felt the need to clean up their balance sheet without considering the impact of the general economy. What else are they going to do, Mark? I mean, I don't know all of the tools that the Fed has, But it makes it seem like you guys think that it could have been done easier, better, differently. And if that's the case, I need to know what tools he has that he has not used to make this better. I don't know. Let's look at the opportunity that this bank fiasco is offering. Can VectorVest help narrow it down to other regional banks? Yeah, I got something for you. Paris. I got you. All right. Another bank, First Republic Bank shares slump as analysts flag. I already did that one. Here's something. 10 banks that might face trouble in the wake of the SVB financial debacle. I want you to see the banks. This is from this story. Regional, already feeling the effects. Look at all of them. Look at all of the regionals getting beat up. With the exception of Prosperity Bank shares, it's up today. A little bit. But all of the other regionals are getting beaten up. All right? Investors, somebody asking, that was Mr. Mike, but you know who I'm talking about. Investors rush into bonds, gold in flight to safety after SVB rescue. Does anybody consider what the Fed did a rescue? Yes or no? All right, I'm going to open up a can in here. Does anybody else in here think that what the government did was a rescue? All right, I think that the FDIC said that, from an insurance tool, that's what we almost had 285 people. Come on, folks, let's get it. I'm still watching. We got 275 right now. Yes, people are saying it's a bailout. I don't call it a bailout. But to a certain degree, we sort of got to call it. They made a fund, right? They made a fund. The FDIC, Chris, is there, but the government made a fund. They did make a fund, and if they made a fund for people to draw from, they spent money for that fund, right? So I don't know, but I just want to know where your heads are at. No, but POTUS remarks this were a bit confusing. Bill says this is just the beginning of things to come. As always, changes have to. So what did I say, Bill? I said that the other shoe hasn't fallen yet. Brian says government didn't rescue. Stockholders and bondholders will be wiped out. But the people who invested, who had their money in the banks, are going to be made whole. But the stockholders and bondholders. So you know what's interesting? Talking about the stockholders and bondholders. How many of you heard that before this all went down, they paid out the bonuses to all the people who worked there? Did you hear that too? Type of yes or no. Did you hear that too? How do we profit from this? EJM, Contras, big time, which I'm going to talk about in a second, or selling stock short. Did you guys hear that they paid those people? They gave them their bonuses prior to this going on. I don't know how I feel about that. You're going to take away the money from the people who have your money in the bank to pay these people. Listen, I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that. When they let me withdraw from that fund to cover my dumb choices, I'll call it a rescue, says Roger. I got you. Big bonus for banks failing. EJM, there you go. I don't know how I feel about that. California governor's wife involved with SIVB. I didn't know that either. Just wondering, is someone going to jail? I think at some point in time, there's going to be some investigation, and probably, yeah. All right. Off of the bank subject. How about this? We got 270 folks. Get me 30 more people. You guys are working it today. Get me 30 more people. All right. This is interesting. And this is interesting because he's sort of in a lame duck type situation for the next 2 years. Biden Interior approves controversial Alaska oil drilling project. All of the people that support him are now pissed. All right. The $8 billion plan led by Alaska's largest crude oil producer would produce about 600 million barrels of oil over the next 30 years. That's a lot of oil over 30 years. And generate about 278 million metric tons of carbon emissions, according to estimates from the U.S. Department of Interior. He got some pissed off folks right now. So I think that he knew he needed to do this. He just cut off a whole bunch of federal land and said you can't drill on it. And then on the other hand, he said, all right, we're going to put this $8 billion plan in together so we can drill oil. Interesting. That's what you call working both sides of the fence. You know, is that genius? Is that stupid? I don't know. But it's very interesting. I'm hiring the same team that defended O.J. Simpson. Wow, Fireblazer. Action on oil is too late. Ravi, I am with you 110%. But you know something? He knows that he's not going to get a lot passed for the next couple of years. The pipes, you know something? If the pipeline was not jacked up, I think it would have been done by now. That was the extension. Always remember that the Keystone Pipeline is already there. This was the XL. This was the extension. All right. In looking at SVB board, the executive team bios, one of the SVB executives sits on the board of Jennifer Seibel Newsom's California Partners. That's what Lou was saying, that the governor's wife was part of this. Physical gold and silver is the only safe haven left. I don't think so just quite yet, but we're going to talk about that. And last but not least, just some stuff on the economy as a whole, where employment gains remain robust. That makes it tough for the Fed to not raise interest rates. International trade deficit reaches $68.3 billion in January. Job openings keep beating forecasts. Put those two together, the economy is still growing, folks. Strong employment expected to remain strong. Construction spending flattened. Drop in orders is a head fake. So I found this site just pretty cool about a lot of different things that are going on in the economy as a whole. I like this site. I do like this site. So now questions are being asked. How do you profit from this? All right. So how do you profit from this? Thank you. I was just getting ready to do that. Let's talk about my picks. What picks do I have today? There are some regional banks. Somebody wanted to know about, regional banks that are good. There are some regional banks that I would keep my eyes on. They're feeling the domino effect from SIVB. But I'm looking at these, all undervalued. Look at these CIs. Some of them are sells. I totally understand that. But if I'm looking at any regional banks that have some validity going on, let me graph all of these. All right. Let me just do that. Let me just graph them. Put these on a 3-month graph. All right. Let's go see if they reflect SIVB. We'll see. I wanted to go find some regional banks that may not have been so bad. The graphs will tell me. The graphs will tell me that or not. All right. Wow, it's taking me a long time to load this up. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. I'll take a look at Schwab too. SCHW. Sigh. That's interesting. There we go. Put these on a 3-month graph. Now, NECB over the last 3 months going up, over the last few days going down. Earnings per share higher than it was 3 months ago, but pulling back somewhat. Clearly undervalued. The stock has been a buy for the majority of the last 3 months. Just recently, with the onset of what's going on, just started turning down. But look at that graph. Look at OVLY. Now, what I don't like about OVLY, I love the graph with the exception of the last 3 days, and it's undervalued. I don't like the earnings per share. All right, I would wait on that. And again, I'm trying to find the regionals that don't look so bad. Look at that. Esquire. Undervalued, nicely running up until most recently, but look at the earnings per share. Some of these I would actually keep on my hit list. No, I wouldn't touch that. Not enough volume. ESSA, I'm not feeling that one. NBN, not feeling that one. Nope. So out of these regional banks that I would keep my eyes on, I do like NECB, just not right now. And watch the earnings per share. I do like OVLY. Watch the earnings per share. I do like ESQ. That one I'd put on my hit list, but watch right now with the big move turn into a sell recommendation. So that's one thing. I can find some regional banks that may be halfway decent. Folks, get me 21 people. I'm almost at 300. Get me those 21 people. All right. So I can find, by way of the VectorVest software, some regional banks. Today is not a day because they're all getting hit. Somebody wanted to talk about gold stocks. All right. I made a list of gold stocks for you. What do I like the most in golds? Look at these. They're all going up. They're all going up. So let's talk about these. Long term, do I like gold? I think they're going up today. That's good. Do I like these long terms? Put some 3-month graph. AG coming off support, 3-8 crossing. I need more confirmation. All right, if you think it's a safe haven, look at the stocks graph long term. 3 months, no. Bounce, technical play. Watch the earnings. All right, next one. Oof. Big jump on GFI, but this stock is all over the place. Earnings is definitely higher than it was 3 months ago, but it is all over the place. Look at the give back on today's candle. Another reason why I'm thinking that this is a short-term play. Look at the give back on today's candle. This is news-driven. 3-8 cross, big volume, blah, 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 blah. Big pullback. All right, next one. FSM bouncing off support as well. Earnings, not higher than it was 3 months ago, but the stock's all over the place. Do you want to put your money into that? You got to make that decision. It is undervalued. Nice break above this level of resistance, but giving back today as well. IAG, woof, all over. 3-8 crossing. Watch the earnings per share. Watch the earnings per share. So I'm putting these stocks up here because a few of you think that gold is the play right now. What I'm explaining to you right now is before you jump all over the place on these, be careful. Do you like this long term or is this a short term move? Does banking issue make you fearful in the market? 52% said yes, 47% said no. Give back. How do you take back? Just give me a quote. Hush, Fireblazer. Fireblazer is going to be my new J in my live streams. I'm going to have to put him in timeout. IAG, I do like the bounce, but look at the earnings per share. Look at RT. All right. So for anyone who's telling me that gold is the play, I'm telling you short term. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Type of yes or no. Do you agree with that in that gold is a short term play? If I'm looking at the graphs on these gold stocks, man, I'm not feeling these long term yet. Not yet. But do I have a short term relief? Possibly. Steven says no. All right, and that's fine. I'm just showing you by way of the graph. I'm just showing you, in all of these graphs look a lot of the same way, Steven. They look a lot of the same way. Zayadin, I'm just saying. Winner, Mark says no, it's longer term in his opinion. I don't think so yet. I need this. I need to get some confirmation of it getting out of these lows before I feel that it's upturn. Look at these earnings per share. I do like the majority of these are all undervalued. Look at EMX, stopped right at support. Stopped right at resistance. A lot of these stocks are right at levels of resistance. I don't like these long term. Not yet. They're making moves today. Could you make money on these today? Absolutely. But I got you, Mark. I got you. I remember. You don't have to. I got you. All right. So now, where else can we make money? I'm going to go to contra ETFs. Now, why do I want to look at contra ETFs? Let's go back to the graphs. Let's go to the market timing. This is why. All right, longer term, this is a 3-month view of the VectorVest composite. We got to a level of support where the market's got some downside. All right, and I think we're going to wiggle around in this space until the Fed's announcement next week. I think it's the 22nd. It's the 22nd. Next week is where the market's going to move in one direction or another. If he raises 50 basis points, the market's going to continue to have more downside. If he raises 25 basis points, the market may have some relief. But also understand that he's still raising interest rates. No matter what, that's still not good for the economy. And once he raises rates next week, he's probably going to raise the terminal rate up to 5.5% to 6%, which means he's going to put on more raises. All right, CPI tomorrow. Oh, yeah. It was in the news. I forget where it was. No. It was 4 things to look at for next week, for this week. CPI is one of them. Actually, let's do this. Let's go to here. Let's go to investing.com. Investing.com. Let's go to economic calendar. Sigh. Let's go to this week. Tuesday, CPI comes out. All right. Tuesday, CPI comes out. Wednesday, core PPI comes out. I got 2 reports coming out on inflation. 2 reports coming out on inflation next couple of days. Are you shorting anything to the 22nd? Right now, no. EJM, I've got a couple of contras on. I've got 2 stocks long, and I'm playing contras. I'm playing 2 contras. That's all I got going on right now. Look at that. As we even talk right now, a little bit more push to the downside. I'm telling you right now, folks, this is not the time to panic, but contras are a good way to still play right now. As I look at today's mixed day, I can see which contras are making money. How about I highlight them? View the stock graph. Let's look at them just for today. Look at the moves for today. All right, contras. There's SRTY on the rise, TZA on the rise, HIBS. I own HIBS. That's one of the contras that I own. And SOX S. Not at the price high for the day, but moving up. So hopefully that answers a lot of people's questions about, Joey, put me on my last screen. All right. Today was an interesting day where we stayed on topic for what's going on. We talked about why it was happening, what was being done about it. Actually, no, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I gotta look at a couple of stocks. What was going on with the market? What's going on with the economy? How to take advantage of this? We did talk about some regional banks that could be of interest with you. We talked about some contras. We talked about gold. We talked about a lot of stuff. We did talk about a lot of stuff. And Jake is right. We're at a level, talking about rebound, we're at a level where the market is already starting to look for a bottom. So I think that we get some proverbial, you know what I mean, bounce off of a bottom going into the Fed's decision next week. That's where I think we go. We're going to have some ups, some downs. The VIX is high, so we're going to have big swings throughout the days. But it all depends on what the Fed does next week. And next week, I'm going to be on vacation. I'm going to be in the tropics. So whatever happens, I'll learn about it once. Do not text me. None of that stuff. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it next, because next week I'm on my cruise. All right, next week I'm on my cruise. What are your contras, Bill? I just showed you. Real quick, if you want to take a picture of them, you can. It's only 11. DRV. Robbie, you here? DRV is on my list. It's down today. LABD, you wanted to look at it. It's in here. These are 11 contras. These are 11 contras that I want you to keep your eyes on. I think these are very active contras. Take your pink pills. I don't need no pills. You guys do understand I'm a Marine. I don't need none of them pills. Mark says you did very goodly not getting distracted by some of the comments thrown at you. You get a raise. Yes, for me. There you go. Listen, I got you. I'm going to go look at those stocks for you. All right. You wanted me to look at a couple of stocks, customer picks. Schwab is one of them. We didn't get to 300. We got close. We got like 20 short. SCHW. Thank you for that, by the way. What else was on here? LABD. Give me some of your stocks. What is Jay? Jay is not even here. Jay, stop it. Don't scare. Is he here? What is Jay? Is Jay here? Jay says, have you seen the Poseidon? He is. Jay and Fireblazer, go to timeout. Mark, escort them to timeout, please. Make it happen. Jay and Fireblazer, just go. All right. Zim, is the party over? How many of you are still investing in Zim because of the dividend? I'm not in Zim anymore. Oorah, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ralph. All right. AI, I'm still on that kick too. AEHR, comma. I'm going in with them. Mark is going to timeout with them. Wow. Bill says, you are looking good, my man. Thank you very much for that, Bill. I appreciate it. Chris says, Zim, small position. SILV, all right. A couple of more stocks. SBSW, comma, Apple. Who's that? Who put Apple up in there? Phyllis, you know me well. All right. ACLS, I know you're probably chuckling. Team, one more. Going once, twice, 3 times a lady. All right, no stop. Fine. No. I was asking. All right. I'll put those last 2 in. PAAS and NU. All right. Let's go take a look at them. Coin. Why? Why, Stephanie? Why do you want to look at coin? Good, googly muggly. Hey, anybody playing crypto? Type of yes or no. Anybody playing crypto? Why do you want me looking? And notice that coin is all the way at the bottom of the list, baby, by VST. All the way at the bottom of the list. I would stay away from crypto. I just would. I would. But if you are trading it, good luck. Jack says yes to the downside. A couple of people still have that they are, and that's fine. It's fine. I can't make you do anything. As I look at the list that you gave me, the stocks with the highest VST is ACLS, AEHR, LABD as a contra to the downside. Man, it's a stock got to keep your eyes on. Zim does have a VST above 1, good upside potential, fairly valued. I'm going to call it fairly valued. Silvercrest, undervalued, good upside potential, VST above 1. Schwab is getting smoked, man. It's got a sell recommendation. It is undervalued, good upside, fundamentally sound. But I think that with the SIVB thing, a lot of bank stocks are getting hit. The Titanic is a good movie as well. Stop it, Jay. Crypto will do what it does short term, but eventually will go to zero. So, I don't know if it ever goes to zero. I think that crypto gets a renewal when the metaverse comes out. Anybody agree with that? I think crypto gets a renewal when the metaverse comes out. Now, the metaverse is a long ways away, but I think that that's where crypto will get a resurgence. Anybody agree with that? I don't like it now. Right now, I think we're in for a longer crypto winter. Mr. Mex Biker says no, metaverse won't. All right. That's another one of my opinions, Mr. Mex Biker. Not all of, not everything I do is my opinion, but that's my opinion. U.S. Treasury will come in with its own digital coin. I keep hearing about that. Will that be the coin that will be used in the metaverse and not the Bitcoin? Black Beauty Machine says no more crypto winter. It's there. I don't think we get away from it. And Remora is right, talking about the digital coin if it comes out. All right. Don't get the relationship of crypto and meta. If you're in the metaverse and you're conducting business, you're virtually there. How do you conduct business? How do you exchange money? And that's where I think crypto will get a resurgence. That's what that comes from. All right. Let me finish looking at these stocks. New holdings, overvalued, good upside potential, VST above 1, buy recommendation. C3I, man, is this long overdone right now? Has the AI space cooled down a little bit? I think it has. But I still think that it's a viable space. Wow, this stock is grossly overvalued. 157, trading at 157, value of 22. Fundamentally not sound. It's in an uptrend. Probably news driving that. Silver, overvalued, not fundamentally sound. Not in an uptrend yet either. SBSW, Fairly valued, not fundamentally sound, and in a downtrend. And coin, of course, way overvalued, no fundamentals, and in an uptrend right now. Ethereum is the only crypto that is a future. Not only that, I do think if you're going to look at the whole crypto space, blockchain. Blockchain is another thing that I do like in the crypto space. You agree with that, lifestyle coach? I do like, well, Ethereum is blockchain, right? Ethereum is blockchain. I think that blockchain has got some feet in the game. All right, let's graph all of these real quick. 3-month graph. ACLS. Let's go take off value. I don't want value right now. Let's go look at these on my swing. I think the FDIC goes crypto soon. I don't think, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Black Beauty Machine says, point of order. Councilman Eric May's voice. Point of order. Because you don't want the crypto winner to keep going. Black Beauty Machine, I'm trying to tell you. I'm not here. Listen, I ain't here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. I'm just being honest. All right, need to switch screen. Did I? Oh, I do. Let's go over to the program. Sorry about that. All right, ACLS. I like the earnings. Just pulling back right now. If you're in it, I think about if you want to hold it long term, I'd sell a covered call. If I want to hold it long term, the candlestick formation right here, shooting star follow through and more follow through and below the 20. Love the earnings per share though. Love the earnings per share. Nice move on the graph. I would think about selling covered calls or take my profits on it. AEHR a little bit more choppy, but trending lower from the high. Overvalued. Earnings per share is going up. Not the right time. It's even broken out of this channel. I tried to regain today, but just didn't work out so well. If you're in it, I would have been out of it once it dropped below this level of the channel. And then it's got a rebound today, but still below that level. All right, so just think about that. LABD was rocking and rolling until today. Am I ready to get out of it? Probably not yet. Today, one day is a down day. One day doesn't make a trend. I do like the pop in dividends too. One day doesn't make a trend. Okay. Apple in a channel. All right, in a channel. Would I take it now? No. I'd wait till it breaks out of the channel. If you're in it, I probably would have gotten out when it closed below the 20-day. But if you're not, right now it's back above. Just give it some time. All right, and let's see if we can break above that level of resistance. Zim, man, earnings hasn't come out yet. Earnings is coming out. Big pullback before. When is the execution date? Anybody? When's the execution date? I don't know. Somebody type it in the room. This could just be the pull down before the execution date. Anybody? Somebody knows. Somebody knows. What's the execution date? Type it in the room. I think that's just the pullback before the dividend execution. All right, next one, Silvercrest again. Gold, silver, starting to run. Am I ready to jump on board yet? Not yet. Look at the earnings per share falling. Long term, I'm not feeling it. Short term, maybe. Wow, Schwab is just getting built. Is just getting killed. Wow, that's just bad. All right. X date on Zim should be like right away. Not Vicky, thank you for that. I think that's what that pullback is just before the dividend execution. New in a channel, nice little bounce today. Love the earnings per share. I'd like to see it get out of the channel. Probably I would have gotten out when it fell below the 20-day or when it broke below this level of support. All right. But if you're in it, just be careful. AI, choppy all over the place. Earnings is falling. I wouldn't quite be in it right now. As much as I still like the space, I wouldn't be in it right now. Team doing a sideways move, but did break below a level of support of 158.60. Earnings per share is falling. Earnings per share is falling. It's another silver stock, silver gold stock, precious metal stock, bouncing off support nicely above the 20-day. Am I ready? Look at the earnings per share. Short term, be careful with gold. Right? As another one, this was not quite above the 20-day. Earnings looks better than the other ones on gold. I'd like that one if we can break above and stay above. And the last stock is coin. I got nothing to say about it. I ain't got nothing. All right, now I'm done. Is there a regional control, a regional contra bank ETF? Yeah, I showed it to you. Well, it wasn't a contra. I saw it to you. Did y'all not see it? Program, did y'all not see it? What did I have? It's right there. KRE. That's not what I want. I didn't want the news. Sorry, Joey. That's what I wanted. This is. That's a good something to look at. Let's go to the web. Regional bank contra ETF. Might not be a bad way to make money. You know, a BTO fund, which is the refused payment for, no. See if I can find one real quick. No. Oops. Regional bank contra ETF. Let me see. These are not contras. KRE is the positive one, Jonathan. KRE is the positive one. I can't find one just quite yet. Let me wait till my next live stream. Let me see if I can come up with one. All right. I got, my volume went down. Was that me? Did something I do? Did I do something? No. SKF. Is that what it is? SKF? Lawrence? Oh, okay. Is that what you got? Is SKF? So there you go. That might not be a bad play right now, but I would still take that short term as well. Something tells me that the regional banks are going to rebound tomorrow after they've gotten beaten up today. All right, we talked about a lot of stuff today. Was it worth it for you to be here today? Hit the like button. Was it worth it for you to be here today? Hit the like button. And then also type it in the room. Was today a good session? Type a 1 if you like, I went and just put it towards what was going on in the market. Type a 1 if you like today's session. Type a 2 if you think I could do better. How about that? Type a 1 if you like today's session. Type a 2 if you think I could do better. I think it was smart to place today's live stream on what was going on in the market. And I tried to answer all of your questions out there. I wanted to hear your questions. Like, we almost got to 300 people. We're going to keep trying. All right. Always room for improvement, says Omar. That's a nice way of saying, Glenn, you might have sucked today, but that's okay. March 24th. All right, so Zim X date is March 24th. That's next week. Is that next week? So yeah, just keep your eyes on it. You could do better if you gave us a mug, says Fireblazer. Wow. FRC dropped 60% this morning. I tweeted that, Roger. I tweeted that this morning. I got a couple of one. Randy said 1.5. I'll take that, Randy. All right. Fast place, nice interplay with the audience. Great job. Kept you and Joey kept me looking good. If you would stop scaring people away, we might get to 300. How the heck am I scaring people away? Sigh. All right, I'm going. It's all Mark's fault. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, ya. Until the next time, folks. See ya.